Welcome to the show, everyone. We're already having fun here, networking with everybody right in this station here. We are live on Facebook, so I want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. I'm going to go in right with my first guest, and I'm excited about bringing them on because they like to kind of get questions from our listeners, and I love that they do this. I'm going to bring them on right now. I have with me Michael Allen and Alex Pinon. They are the owners of My Reverse Team. Tell everybody, I always like when people come on, no matter how many times, to kind of tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do. And what has been going on since you've been on my show, and how you have gotten this kind of action from our audience.
It's just absolutely thrilling to come here, every time that we get here.
Well, thank you.
And I'm the operations manager, and I make sure that everything runs smoothly. Mike is your guy who makes sure that the loan is perfect. And what I've always said is you really need a village to make any loan work. And anybody who's working by themselves, they can do it, but are they watching every single thing all the time? We have Mike, who watches every single thing about the loan all the time, and he leaves operations to me. Hello, Michael.
Good afternoon.
Well,
Thank you.
But explain though how long you've been doing this.
Sure.
And why you love what you do.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's the
And
fun
you
part.
are an expert at what you do.
Sure, and what Alex was saying, and to answer your questions, 19 years in the industry combined with Alex's 20 plus years in the industry, we have over 40 years explaining loan mortgages, reverse mortgages specifically to folks. I love to see the benefit of how this impacts people's lives. We get paid two ways, I often say. Sure, the financial piece, but to see a life change from making this kind of a decision and how a whole family can change, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's very fulfilling in the heart. What Alex is speaking about are the different pieces, the different moving pieces. Sure, one person, you ever see the juggler with 8 balls in the air? Yeah, one person can do it, but it's so much nicer when you have 8 people with just their one ball to take care of things.
Sure.
And that's how we have broken down My Reverse Team. Sure, I face customers and customer facing, and I love taking the calls, and I love answering the emails on the website, and I just getting to know people and interacting with them. Then you have operations, and then when the loans come in, and then how do we handle these multifacets of what we have going on, and that's where you really need a team.
And a reverse mortgage is completely different than a regular mortgage. I mean, it's reverse, so it's got to be different.
It's going in a different direction.
It's in a different direction.
That's
but
a
they're
myth.
Different. Is that another myth?
That's an absolute myth.
Okay.
A reverse mortgage is no different than any other mortgage, with the exception that you don't pay it back until the last person in the property passes away.
So, okay, when a lot of people will ask you, there are a lot of myths, right? And you have a website that is fantastic because, first of all, you've got so much information there. You've made it possible for people to actually, who are listening to us, that can go up on the website and not have to put any of their own information in there, because
Correct.
a lot of people think, oh, they just want my information because they're going to call me, they're going to
Email
hound
me, call me,
No.
hound me.
You've made it possible for the listeners to be able to go up there and actually put in questions, and you
Right.
get them, and we're really excited about that.
Got a few to
Yeah,
share
we're going
today.
to talk about today. And also, there's also other information there that they can look up on their own, but then ask questions as well. Let's talk about that.
Right. Well, one of the biggest things when we started to look at what was going on the web in the industry, there's no information. There's so many myths about reverse mortgages, and any bank and any broker out there, they want you to give all your information, and then they give you a little snippet, and then they call you up, and then they try and answer your question. The problem is when you're on the phone with somebody for 15 or 20 minutes, they're not going to take in and remember what you just talked to them about. So we'll do it, and we'll talk to them, and we'll tell them, hey, we have myreverseteam.com. Go, everything that we're talking about here is on there. And if anybody's telling you anything different, this is it. okay? And it's all free. We don't want your information. Go read it, and if you don't understand something, then on the main page, give us a question, and we answer their questions by email, but we also bring the best every week.
I love that.
You know,
I love that.
to have Mike answer here.
It's invaluable to have that much information given up front without any. We're not asking you to give name and address and all that information, so now you can be hounded and called and robocalled and all that jazz. We don't do anything like that. It's like, hey, here's the information. What about a non-borrowing spouse? What happens with the family? You know, should you pass away? What are all the different questions that people have? We have it on the site on myreverseteam.com, very easily accessed. You know, whether you're in this state or family, I've had family in several other states, and I say send them to the website and
Right.
get all the information they need.
And it's important that that people listen here also in other states, right? And also, we have people that live here, that their kids live, and this is something that everybody needs to be a part of. Everybody should, so they understand what's going on. It's myreverseteam.com, and their phone number, they do free consultations at 602-423-3996. Now, let's talk about some of the, the questions that you had today.
Sure.
The first one here is, a few years back, you did a reverse mortgage for me and my husband. He has passed, and I want to make sure I do not have to do anything.
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do anything in it either. We have 2 minutes.
It's a heartbreaking situation it's a reality of life, and so one of the great things about the reverse mortgage is that we base the loan on the younger of the two folks who are the residents there. So if anything happens to the older person, nothing changes with the loan. If anything happens to the younger person, nothing changes with the loan. So to answer that, excuse me, to answer that person's question, no, you don't have to do anything. You can stay as comfortable as you are right now and not have to worry about anything happening with the home.
Nothing. I know that for a fact. You know why? Because I have a friend of mine who was in that exact situation. Her husband happened to have been much older than her, and he passed. She didn't have to do anything, and you know something? She can live with peace of mind, because it was a very scary thing. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. Very organic today, I love that. And you go up on the website and ask any questions you want. You don't have to put in any of your information. They don't want you to. As a matter of fact, they just want you to go up there and learn what all of this is about. And if you have any questions, you can leave them right there on the website. It's myreverseteam.com.
Excellent.
Very good, very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking scenario too.
Yeah, that was.
yeah. I mean, but like I said, we're still live in here
Sure,
right
sure.
now, but I just want to say that she did have that situation. And, nobody knew exactly what was going to happen.
Right.
And when she found out afterwards, because he passed pretty suddenly, and then all of a sudden she found out that she can live there without any
Right.
problem.
Without any
And
problems.
she might be able to live there too. I don't know. She might die along with the house. I don't know what happens.
And that's what usually happens, though.
Well,
Yeah,
women
yeah,
outlive
listen.
men. We know
Women
that
outlive
from
women.
mortality
And
tables.
then when they pass, then the kids will just sell the house, pay off the reverse mortgage, and
Sure.
take the profits.
Right, and that's what we did. We did the same thing.
Sure.
My mother had passed first in this particular situation, and my dad, he needed it. I think I might have told you. Sometimes I think people don't realize that their Social Security goes away
I think
with
that's
that
even
one.
one of the questions today, but
Is it?
yeah,
Is
that's exactly.
She has a two-parter. As a matter of fact, she does have one. It's a two-parter that says about the
Yeah.
Social Security, because that was the big thing that, you've been getting it. How long? They were getting it. They were married for 60
Decades,
years. He was
yeah.
91 when he passed, so they
Wow.
were getting it forever.
Wow.
So guess what? You just don't think about those things, and that's what happened. And even though he had money, it wasn't like it, but it felt a little tight. So you know what? Just in case, for peace of mind. And like I said, that was done in 2010 when they weren't as nice as they are today.
Right.
Yeah, that's just
But
incredible.
we'll talk about that when we. Yeah.
It's a good thing to see how it benefits people and doesn't hurt in the new program.
And it didn't hurt us at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And he also he didn't really spend the money. He was there for just in case purposes.
That
really.
peace of mind,
That was what's there.
it's
Exactly.
invaluable. It means a good night's sleep
Yeah.
to some folks. I mean, it
Absolutely.
really means a good night's sleep.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
the stress, we have a client that was on 11 different medications, and after completing the reverse mortgage, within 3 months, went down to 3.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. You still got the Facebook thing going on.
They're
right?
all my clients, so I have to like them.
That's great. That's so great. Yep. Oh, fantastic. I forget, how long have you been doing this?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been doing this? I
15
forget.
years in August.
15 years.
It's crazy.
That's great. That is so fantastic. Yeah.
Hold on a second. So welcome back, everyone. It's interesting that no matter how many times you can talk about a reverse mortgage, there's still so many questions.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the same questions, which is okay. There's never a dumb question when it comes to something like this. And there's lots of them. And they like you to go right up on their website without putting any of your own information in there. They want you to learn about what they're like today. They're nothing like they were years ago. And they want you to go up on the website, which is myreverseteam.com. You can look at all of the information that's there. There's a place there for you to ask questions. And they've been getting them you've been on for at least a couple of months now that you've been coming on my show.
We have.
A few months.
Yeah.
And we're getting, now that we've been opening it up to the audience for people to do that and go up on that website, people are going up there and they've got these questions. Go on there and check it out. It's myreverseteam.com.
I love calls too. I mean, almost every time we do a show, I get 1 or 2 direct calls.
Let me put that number out there for
Okay.
you so they can do that. They work nationwide and they do free consultations. Their phone number is 602-423-3996. And also for the fact that, let me tell you something, they have lowered I could talk forever on this, to 55 years old now too, so even people that are younger that thought, because I don't know when they did that recently.
Just
right?
recently.
Yeah, a new
So
product.
all you guys out there that are 55 years old, listen up. Go up on that website and check it out.
See if it
because
makes sense.
It does. You don't know until you don't know what you don't know until you check it out.
Right.
One of the things about the website, it's all written in simple English. Everybody that you talk to wants to make everything so complex. And I like to quote Einstein on this. He said, if you can't explain it where someone understands it on the first try, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there you
Albert
go.
Einstein, not me.
Well, so you took his advice.
I did.
And you made it, which is very important. Let me tell you why too, because, and I'm a senior. When I don't understand something, what happens is I get
Shut down.
frustrated.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I-
Shut down.
And I get scared.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what, and I just, like you said, I shut down. So you've made it simple for people to understand.
Right, and what we tell them is, after they talk to Mike, you're not gonna remember a lot of the stuff that you wanted, the
A lot of
questions
information.
that, it's all here. So, if you wanna know about what my kids should know, if you wanna know who's eligible, if you wanna know about non-borrowing spouse, if you wanna know anything about anything, every single thing about reverse mortgages is there. And if somebody tells you it's not all encompassing, they don't know the business.
So, and what I was just gonna say is they've been
Right.
doing this for 19 years. Reverse mortgages only. That is important for people to understand. That is what you focus on only.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to go to anyone, honestly, please listen to me right now, that does not do them just only. Because anybody that can tell you that they're gonna, oh yeah, we can do that for you, they're not gonna know it like you do. There's no way.
Correct.
And you can also get yourself in trouble with that by not having somebody who's experienced in this.
We got a question, if you skip to that question that came in.
I talk too much.
We got a question that came in this week, and I don't, it's written down there. I think they said that they've been doing a reverse mortgage for 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, right here.
And
Let me do it. I'll read it for
read
you.
it.
I started a reverse mortgage with another company 4 months ago. I have no idea what is going on. No one returns my calls. Is there anything, is there something that someone can do to help me, please?
I can't tell you how many times we get that statement. I mean, that is not
They're
uncommon.
too busy trying to do other things too, and they
Yeah,
don't
I'm
even know
doing
what they're
forward
talking
loans
about.
and
Well,
I'm doing
they-
construction and
These loans are not easy. I mean, you have to really know what you're doing, and Mike knows what he's doing.
Yeah, our team
How many
does.
times a month do you hear that?
I would say at least 2 or 3 times a month. I've lost contact with the
So,
person. They
so
won't call me
what
back.
would you do if someone called you and said, "How can you help me?"
First thing I do is a consultation. When would you like to meet? This afternoon, tomorrow? When as soon as we can meet together, I take a look at what they've done and put together. I show them what we can do.
So, can you take over the loan?
Absolutely.
Is that something that you can do for them?
Yes. Taking over the loan is not a problem. We do a case transfer, and then once it's transferred into my reverse team, we take it from there. And then I have yet to hear someone say, couldn't get a hold of you, didn't know what was going on where we were at.
So, second opinion, might be
Oh,
very
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Because
Very good.
when someone hasn't returned your phone calls in 4 months, it's not a second opinion.
That's not.
It's time to
time
run
to make
screaming
a
from the
change.
building.
Run.
Yeah, it's time to run
Fast.
screaming from the
Team
building.
changed, yeah.
So their phone number again, it's 602-423-3996. They do free consultations. They work statewide. It's myreverseteam.com. Let's go back up to what we were talking about when we started this thing, which was at the break I was telling you how my dad needed one, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
was because his wife had passed, my mother passed, and the Social Security passed along with that, and that was something that they just didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
think about. And that's one of the questions. It's interesting here that the woman that was talking about what was going to happen to her, if her husband passed before her, also said, with the loss of the Social Security, is it getting tough to make? It's getting tough to make ends meet. Is there anything that you can do for me?
Well, yeah, first of all, it's heartbreaking when I'm the first person to tell a couple or the surviving spouse, you only get to pick one of those incomes now. And of course, it would be the larger one. So we often will see a third or half of the income that's coming into the house stop when a spouse passes. And absolutely, by doing a reverse mortgage and not having the pressure of a monthly mortgage payment or having a large cash reserve, just like we were talking about on the break, you can breathe. The fear factor, I often say, what price can you put on a good night's sleep?
So,
Because-
if I understand this, what you're saying is she could refinance that and get some cash out from that reverse mortgage to give her a little bit of a breathing room. Is
Was that client already
Yeah.
already has a reverse mortgage?
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, goodness, right now we are doing, it's incredible to see the equity growth that has happened here in Arizona. And so getting a second look and running through the numbers again, people are refinancing and pulling out 20, 30, 40, 50 plus $1,000 in their reverse mortgage that they currently have. You can refinance a reverse mortgage.
So if she lost $2,000 a month from her husband and she got another $50,000 out, do the math on what she can do if she budgets herself right. She can live
Live
many
the rest of her life
years
comfortably.
without
Very
any,
happy.
any problems.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is all about. It is for peace of mind. And you could call them. They do free consultations at 602-423-3996. They want you to go up on the website. That's what they really want you to do and
Sure.
check it out. All their information is there, and you put nothing in there. And that's what they also want you to know. They're not looking for your information. Right now, what they want you to do is check this out. Is it right for you? If you have questions about it, they want you to go up on the website and ask any questions you want, and they will answer them from the website.
Carol, we're also not afraid to take the Pepsi challenge, as they say. If you're working with someone, allow us to give you what our fees are. Several times we've laid them out and said, well, obviously you can see by the numbers we beat them. But a couple of times I've been like, you you've got a great deal.
But you
Go
don't
with
know
that.
until you check
You
it out.
don't know until you get your second opinion.
It's myreverseteam.com. They do nothing but reverse mortgages, and they're experts in it. Okay, here's another question, and I like this one. This is interesting. The houses around me are selling for $75,000 to $100,000 more than when I did my reverse mortgage. Do you think it's time to refinance?
It's absolutely time to at least look at the numbers. You know, we have a client that we're closing their loan right now. Their house, just from 2 years ago, has gained $150,000 more equity in 2 years here in Arizona. Just unbelievable.
But look what's going on in the market.
Yeah,
You know?
yes. They are so pleased at what we're about to give them through the reverse mortgage refinance. They just can't believe it. They're just like, this is unexpected, delightful, and there's still something left for family once they're no longer living in that house as their primary residence.
Here's another really, did you want to say?
No.
Here's another really good one here. I don't need the money, but my daughter just got divorced and needs a new car.
You're passionate about this.
If I do a loan and get her a car, will she have to pay taxes on that money?
No, because all the monies from a reverse mortgage are not classified as income. So, you know, if you want to help your children, and the only suggestion I have is you're going to buy your daughter a car, you should give the same amount of money to your son.
Right. No,
Keep it even.
Keep it even.
yeah, try anyway, because afterwards, believe me, when you go, it ain't gonna be even. No.
But that's
go
the
ahead.
beauty, you know, there's a lot of, you know, single moms and dads out there that are struggling, and, you know, the parents want to help them, and they don't realize that the kids are going to get that money anyway.
Right.
When they pass, the kids are going to inherit the
I
house
have
and
to
get
be
that
honest,
money.
I think my dad did that for me too.
Oh,
he did?
I mean,
Okay.
because, you know, he got something that
Yeah.
he thought was wonderful. It was probably more than he even expected.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he said, here, let me give you a little something now rather than later.
Look, keeping with the principle of that, the spirit of that question, you know, Alex and I speak about this often. And some clients say, hey, I got plenty of money, I don't necessarily need it. And to say, have you thought about watching your kids spend part of their inheritance right now while you're alive? How fulfilling will that be?
I know.
It has turned people 180 degrees. They're like, absolutely, let's do this. I want to give my kids $100,000.
I don't know why people hold on to their money so much, but it is a wonderful thing if you
Yeah.
can. I'm telling
To
you.
see that.
Absolutely, I'm sure people do. We have 1 minute. What would be your final words for today?
You know, if you're living in a home and you're in a pressured situation, and you're like many of our clients, making a decision between eating or buying your medicine, or the end of the month and the bills are just not reaching, you owe it to yourself to take a look at this program to see if it can benefit you.
Absolutely.
And it's life-changing. You know, it really
Undeniable.
is. It's life-changing to everyone involved. Your
Everyone
kids.
I know
Right.
that has had one, especially the new ones that they are today, they love it. They're so thankful that they have them. And now you can be 55 years old, I like to say that, and so you can check it out on their website. And don't put any of your information in there, just go ask questions. It's myreverseteam.com.